guys doing? Thank you so much for joining me with another math lesson with Mr. Woodford. Today, we're going to continue to work on Unit 6, which is talking about percents, proportional reasoning. Parts over whole is equal to percent over 100, or percent over 100 is equal to part over whole. We're going to be diving further into this unit. Please take time to finish all the independent practice, all the homeworks, because it'll help you get better. Additionally, please make sure you complete the Delta Math homework assignments, which will help you master the skill a lot faster. Please join me looking in your packets at 6.2D, which is talking about percentages of word problems. Now, I know right away you're probably like, oh my God, I don't want to do this, Mr. Woodford, because I don't like word problems. I get it. No one does. But you got to get better at them because, believe it or not, word problems is how the world works. When you go into the store, they're not going to give you a straight up 15% of 700. They're going to say to you, what is this value of that in a word problem setting? So let's do the bell work. As usual, take your time to pause the video, complete the bell work, and then we'll go over it together. All right, I hope you had enough time to complete the bell work. Let's look at A together, and then we're gonna look at B. So A is asking us to identify what is 15% of 700. 15% of 700, there's a couple ways to do this. You could write 15% as a decimal first, and then multiply that by 700. So you could say, okay, well, 15% is really 0.515 multiplied by 700. From this, you'll get exactly what 15% of 700 is, which is 105. Okay, it's 105. If you don't want to do it this way and you want to do percent over 100 equals part over whole, you could have easily did 15 over 100 is equal to x over 700, cross multiply, and then divide by 100, and you would still get 105. All right. For B, actually 204.6 is what percent of 125, which is letting you know that that first number, first is letting you know we need to find the percent. So if you wanted to start off by saying, okay, we need the percent, you're going to put x over 100 is equal to part over whole. Now you got to say, okay, well, what is the part and what is the whole? Here I can tell you that whenever you see something is what percent of another, it's telling you that the second number, in this case 125, is the whole, whereas the first number indicates the part, which is what we were talking about in the last lesson, 6.2C. So in this case, we're going to put 204.6 all over 125. But Mr. Woodford, the first number is bigger than the second number. It's okay. We are used to having improper fractions, and we're not uncomfortable with them, right? That's the hope, at least. All right, so now that we have it all set up, we can cross multiply. We would end up getting 125x is equal to 204.6 multiplied by 100, which will give you 20460. Let me just double check that, but I believe that is true. 204.6 times 100. Yep, 20,460. Last thing we need to do is divide by 125 because we want to get x by itself. Now, remember, ladies and gentlemen, this is a one-step equation, what we learned in unit 4.5. Whenever you see multiplication next to a variable, we need to do the opposite, the inverse, which is division. We will divide by 125 to get x by itself, okay? Once we get x by itself, we have solved the actual problem. So that number divided by 125 gives us 163.68. Now, it does say round to the nearest tenth. Just so you all know, this 6 right here is the tenths place. If I want to round to the tenths place, I have to look at the hundredths place and see what it does to the tenths place. Since it's 5 or more, we need to raise the score. So our answer is going to be 163.7. 163.7. All right. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, whether you decide to do percent over 100 equals part over whole, or know that you can turn the percent to a decimal, multiply it by the whole, right? I would recommend you always try to set it up as understanding percent over 100, part over whole, because you're looking for one of those three. Either you're looking for the percent, you're looking for the part, or you're looking for the whole. Why do I say that? Because as we start word problems, you got to be able to identify what's important. What's the significant information? What's the stuff that's standing out to us? So let's start off by looking straight at the modeling. It starts off by asking us to calculate the percent of whole numbers and word problems. 79% of a university's freshman class are majoring in engineering. If 2,765 students in the freshman class are engineering majors, how many students are in the freshman class? So let me read that one more time. As I read it the second time, I am going to take out my highlighter. I'm going to highlight what is the important information because I want to focus on what's important here. I have 79% of the university's freshman class are in engineering. Okay, so 79% of them are in engineering. Then it says to me, if 2,765 students in the freshman class are engineering majors, right? Uh-oh, let me just go back. It kind of deleted something. Are engineering majors, right? How many students are in the freshman class? So what you need to ask yourself is, okay, what are they telling me, right? As I mentioned before, we're talking about percent problems. So how would I start this off? What would I start? What would be the first thing I'm going to write? First thing I'm going to write is percent over 100 is equal to part over whole. I know by now in the lesson, it's repetitive. It's kind of annoying. It's like, come on, stop. But why do I keep doing this? Notice, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't noticed already, 6.2 is the only lesson at all in any of these units that I've extended an additional 4 lessons, A, B, C, D. Why? Because they're helping you master this concept of percent over 100 equals part over whole. I need you to get better at that. So when I start asking you for percents of numbers, and then I start asking you to either do markups or markdowns or increase or decrease of numbers, you already got the basics down. All right. So first thing I start off by writing is percent over 100 equals part over whole. I ask myself, okay, out of these 3, what am I missing? Do I have the percent here? The answer is yes, you do have a percent. It tells you 79% of the university's freshmen are majoring in engineering. So that gives me my percent. So I'm going to start off by writing 79 over 100 is equal to something over something else, part over whole. Then I say, okay, I got 79 done. Check. I'm recognizing that 79 is my percent. The next question we have to ask ourselves is, if 2,765 students in the freshman class are majoring in engineering, does that mean that that's a part or does that mean that that's a whole, right? So keep in mind, we're talking about the freshman class. In specific, we're talking about people that are in the engineering or majoring in the engineering. Does that represent 100% of the students in the freshman class? The answer is no. But I can tell you this, that when I zoom in, I see a part of the freshman class is engineering majors. So what does this mean for the 2,765? That means that this right here is a part because it's part of the freshman class. It's not the entire freshman class. So since that's a part, that means to me, that means to you, that we have to find the whole. We have to find the whole. So what I'm looking for is the whole. So I'm going to put a variable X on the bottom there. All right. Now that I put a variable X on the bottom, I need to then solve this. Okay. Notice, ladies and gentlemen, that I'm not, and I'm going to say this very clearly, I am not going to do 0.79, turning 79% into a decimal, and then multiplying that by 2,765. If you do 0.79 multiplied by 2,765, you're going to get 2,184.35. And that is not correct. It's not correct. That is not our answer. Okay. You need to find the whole. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cross multiply here. When I cross multiply, I get 79x is equal to 276,500. Okay. And that's 276,500. The last step here to get x by itself, because once again, it's a one-step equation. This is why we had that 4.5 lesson where we practiced solving one-step equations, right? Now that I have 79x equals 276,500, I need to divide by 79 because I want x by itself. Whatever I do to one side, I do to the other side. And you're probably like, Mr. River, why am I dividing again? Because it's multiplying by x. We want to get x by itself, but it's multiplying by 79. We need to get rid of it by doing the inverse. Opposite of multiplication is division, so we divide by 79. So this big number here, 276,500 divided by 79 gives me 3,500. Okay. As it is a word problem, and this is more specifically mentioned as word problems, I want you to write a sentence explaining what this number means. I know in the past couple lessons, I let you just slide with putting the numbers, but now I want you to write a sentence. So what does this 3,500 mean? This 3,500 means that there are you gotta go to class. There are 3,500 students in the freshman class. All right. Now I'm gonna do one more with you, and this one I might do a little bit faster only because this one here I had to make sure you understand how to start it off. I'm gonna read it one time through. I'm gonna highlight what's important, and then we're gonna set it up. Right. The setup is always the same. A bakery sold a total of 400 cupcakes in a day, and 63% of them were mocha flavored. Yummy. How many of the cupcakes sold that day were mocha flavored? Okay. So a bakery sold a total of 400 cupcakes. Notice some things here. I'm going to highlight what I see as important, right? First thing I notice that's important here is the word total. Total 400 cupcakes. Whenever you see that word total, that's indicating the whole. I'm recognizing that right away. Total means whole. They're telling me what the whole is. So if you want to make a nice little mark here, say, okay, that means that this right here has to be the whole. That's okay. That's all right. That means that 400 cupcakes is the whole. Then they go on to say, and 63% of them, so there's a portion of them that were mocha flavored. So a portion of these cupcakes were mocha flavored. So do I know how many were mocha flavored? Does it tell me that? No. So when I go to set it up and I say, okay, first thing I'm going to do here when I start it off, I'm going to write percent over 100 is equal to part over whole. Now I'm going to fill in the information that I know. They did tell me the percent. So I have 63 all over 100 is equal to the part. I do not know the part. I do not know how many mocha flavored cupcakes are sold. But I do know how many cupcakes in total were sold, which is 400. Now that I have this all set up, I can cross multiply and I can solve. Now, in contrast to the one above, notice here they gave us the whole and they gave us the percent. So instead of I could cross multiply, right? Or I can even go about finding out that this is 0.63 and multiplying this one by 400. Mr. Ripper, why didn't you do that with the one above? Because they didn't give me the whole above, they gave me the part. And that technique is a little bit different, right? But in this case here, they gave me the whole, so I can say 0.63 multiply by 400, okay? That would give me the same answer if I cross multiply, which I'm going to do because I want you guys to get used to one technique that you can master, okay? 25200 is equal to 100x. I want to solve for x. I need to get rid of 100, so I divide both sides by 100. When I do so, I end up getting x is equal to 252. Okay. And once again, if you put in 0.63 and you multiply that by 400, you will also get 252. All right. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. All right. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, all right, great. So we have 252 here. The last thing you need to do is make sure you write a sentence. The sentence needs to say that there were 252 cupcakes sold that were mocha. Okay, and that's sold. Okay, that is it for this lesson. Feel free to rewind it, watch it again, put any questions that you have inside the Google Classroom platform, or even ask your teacher about some things that you may have missed or you want to get a better understanding of. But that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me with another math lesson. Have a great day. Bye-bye.